Her, Rosalyn Nightshade, the cool character in LEGO Elves Secrets of Elvendale that has a fake European accent.
My name doesn't matter. What does is that you turn back. All of you.
The one that does this to get past a field of elf-eating plants. Yeah, not so cool. I went into the show liking Rosalyn at first. She's skilled, cool, mysterious, and not making situations lighthearted every single moment. You know, has the most epically animated scenes. Ah, yes. I'm only exaggerating a little bit when I say that Rosalyn is probably the worst character in the show with the most meaningless impact emotionally despite her desperate efforts to show otherwise. You heard me right. If you thought she was cool, please consider rewatching because it's honestly unbearable to watch any scene she's in. Before I get into exactly why this scene flopped, I have to address her character and purpose in the story. Rosalyn shows up as a mysterious and capable elf that guides the other characters on the Goblin King's whereabouts and trains them to level up, essentially. Rosalyn's function, ideally, is substantial to the plot and character connections. The elves need a guide and a place to stay. They are lost without someone giving knowledge on how to find the fortress or insight to Cronin's motives. Rosalyn glues those parts together. Though it's a rocky start due to her tragic backstory, she knows how to get around. That is her purpose in the plot. Past that, there is a regrettable problem when it comes to her characterization. She is portrayed as someone key to the story, but instead takes away from, rather than supports the protagonist and her journey, which I will probably get into in another video. She lacks a huge amount of emotional attachment with the audience or any other character unless it's Cronin and maybe Farron, and acting like it's the end of everything all the time. The show makes it seem like Rosalyn was this ultra-important character, when in reality, Emily is supposed to be the focus. She is the protagonist, after all. I hardly see Emily getting a backstory, and instead getting into the details of Rosalyn's past love life. She also doesn't seem attached or invested in other characters. That is, of course, besides the Goblin King. And she's always on edge, overreacting. If it's not one thing, it's another. She has extreme sensitivity when it comes to her sick dragon. After that's fixed, she's always worked up about her sanctuary being found by the shadows, and when her secrets are revealed, she acts as if it's the end of all relations to the elves. When Naida leads the Shadow Servant to Rosalyn's home, she takes it as a full betrayal to everyone, and she sacrifices herself to Ashwing, treating it as the ultimate end. I understand that she had a hard past with Cronin, leaving her both feeling betrayed and grieving the inevitable sickness of her dragon, which causes her to doubt the elves' honesty when she initially meets them. But after the trust issues are resolved, she doesn't have an excuse to whine. In order for me to understand why I disliked her so much, I had to have a list of reasons that I borrowed from the channel BookFox of what the problems were and how I would improve the writing of this character. First, she does not and has no evidence of working hard to achieve her current status, meaning her appearance in the episodes. If we got even a glimpse of her hardships to becoming the Queen of the Forest, learning potions, or knowing a way around the forest, that would have improved this. Even her just blurting out something along the lines of, "You don't know how much it took me to get here." Yeah, I'll confess it's not a great line, but it reveals that she struggled. Second, she does not have an inner conflict between battling morals and actions that pertains to her character arc. Right at the start, she doesn't trust, she doesn't help, but criticizes. By the end, when she sacrifices herself, she trusts, helps, and forgives. But in between is short of any hints toward her even considering the idea of forgiving Cronin. Every episode after her first introduction is literally her stating how Cronin is a liar and blight. I need to see her contemplate. Along with it, Rosalyn is way too telling. She is supposed to be cool and mysterious, but all she does is use a bow and potions to show it. Again, we do not see how she's worked to get here or how she knows what she's doing. Apart from that, I find it unclear what Rosalyn's motivations are in the first place, and I don't understand the rivalry with Naida besides maybe the pride and competition of potion making. Why should she think she's better than anyone else? Again, we do not know how she got to become a potion master, she just is. And now, let me explain the scene. When Sophie and the elves finally reach the fortress, they're blocked by Ashwing, a dragon that basically went crazy. The pathway to Cronin is on the other side, meaning that they have to unlock the cage. After doing so, Rosalyn realizes that they are going to have to create a distraction in which she volunteers herself. Ashwing causes the whole place to crumble, and Rosalyn is separated from the rest of the group from a fallen rock. Or is she? Even if we put the character aside and just focus on the scene itself, it's so laughable because she didn't have to stay behind. I mean, look at that huge gap she could just escape from. She could have used strategy and used Ashwing against Cronin instead of blindly sacrificing herself to be noble. That is really the reason I do not care, because it was not an act of necessary sacrifice and selflessness, but out of a brainless act that is meant to redeem her somehow. It's totally avoidable and just makes me dislike her even more. This happens in the last episode, and it's titled, you guessed it, Sacrifice. It's referencing a semi-important character, not the protagonist, not an overarching theme, a side character.
Huh, that bad enough for you?
The YouTube series had a more appropriate title. It's not Sacrifice that allows Emily and the elves to save Elvendale. It's supposed to be Emily. This just hurts. I am very disappointed how this scene turned out to be. I thought the story took a deeper and more meaningful turn, but it was all a disguise to trick you into feeling emotional for a falsely heroic act. These scenes where characters sacrifice their lives for others is emotional and tragic. It should be used to demonstrate devotion and vulnerability of characters. This is an intentionally brave and selfless act that reveals what truly matters to them. And it's an empty box when her last words are,
And tell Cronin, I forgive him!
If Rosalyn's last words were meant to be impactful, then either the truth is that the thing she cares about most is mending her relationship to Cronin, or doing anything to save Ashwing. Neither of these correlate to Emily's story or the elves. While Rosalyn's plot in the story is necessary, and while she is the most fleshed out character in the entire show, she is so poorly written. And from this absence of realistic depth, it results in an unlikable and unrealistic fool. The reason why it doesn't work is because it's not required. It's not memorable because I don't care about her. Her loss is worth nothing because it doesn't mean anything. And you know why it especially doesn't mean anything? Oh, wow, she didn't. She's back. Okay, yeah, maybe I should have seen that coming. I was going to research more about how to make a character's sacrifice truly matter, but I realized how bad it was, and I personally don't think it needed more evidence. I get that it's a kid's show, but I am a believer in deep and meaningful themes for younger audiences, so this scene definitely made me sigh. If you don't think she was bad, enlighten me in the comments. I have my opinions, but I'm curious to see what everyone else thinks. Thank you so much for listening, and let me know if you enjoy these videos. I need to know!